I guess I'll just do a little intro and then we'll kind of go into the interview.
Should I put the beer down?
No, actually I'm going to mention the beer. Hard at work. Are we good?
Definitely.
All right.
Where do you want me to look?
At me.
Okay.
Yeah, so just sort of like a conversation or whatever. I'm here in Palo Alto, California, chilling with Mark Zuckerberg of the Facebook.com, and we're drinking out of a keg of Heineken because what are we celebrating,
We
Mark?
just got 3 million users.
3 million users.
Yeah.
And how long has Facebook been around?
Not that long. A little more than a year. Like
A little
15
more than
months
a year.
At this point, yeah.
And 3 million users.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for the internet.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
we're psyched.
Yeah, so, what is it that you think attracted, the 3 million users? Like, how do you...
So, I guess it's not just like 3 million aggregate users, but it's a lot of different individual communities. So, when we originally got started at Harvard, it was just me programming what was a Facebook, really, at that time for Harvard, because they didn't have anything like that. So, I realized that because I didn't have people's information like a school would in making a Facebook, I needed to make it interesting enough so that people would want to use the site and want to put their information up, or else it wouldn't be useful for other people and therefore it wouldn't grow. So launched it at Harvard in early February of 2004, and within a couple of weeks 2/3 of the school had signed up. So at that point my roommates were kind of like, this is pretty cool, I bet this would work at other schools. But we were all busy with classes and stuff, so we kind of just wanted to make sure that it was going to work before going in any further with it. So we launched it at 3 schools that also had some sort of online communities. So those were Columbia, Yale, and Stanford. So launched at those 3, and within a couple of weeks, each of those 3 schools also had thousands of users. So we're like, all right, this is pretty sweet. Let's just go all out and see how many schools we can launch this at as quickly as possible. So we closed out the year with, I think, 29 schools. Came out to Palo Alto for the summer just to hang out, because Palo Alto is kind of this mythical place where all the startups come from, and we're like, all right, we kind of have our own little project, so maybe that'll be a cool place to be. Came out here for the summer, added some new stuff. We had groups while we were out here and kind of just cleaned the site up and got ready to launch it at another 150 schools when the year started, and have just spent most of the last school year getting it from 150,000 users to 3 million, where it is now, and from 30 schools to 830, where it is now. So that's what we've been up to.
What sort of, how hard was that to go from that many users to, because I guess your biggest advertising was word of mouth.
Yeah, we didn't actually do any marketing, but I think that the actual marketing part of it wasn't that hard, because we were constantly behind the demand. We lacked a lot of money and time. There were only 4 of us running the site, so to maintain all those computers that were running the site and to constantly be setting up more computers and keeping the ones that were running was a big job. So it was pretty rare that we got more equipment and could support more schools. So as that happened, we had more than enough demand to fill up the service with just new people. But now as you can see, there's a lot more people here. So as we've done just enough advertising and raised just enough money in terms of investment to hire people to make our lives easier and be able to grow it quicker. So that's pretty good. We have a sweet office.
Yeah. How many people are you guys at now? How many people work for you?
It's actually 20 right now. So that includes I think 8 or 9 people who are programming, and just a few people who focus on just trying to get ads on the site. And then it's getting to the point where we have people whose only job it is to maintain the servers and just make sure that when they go down, they get put back up quickly so that schools aren't offline for too long. So yeah.
So then
someone who orders our kegs also.
Yeah, there's a person whose job is to order the kegs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So going from just your school at Harvard, all right, this is cool, we did this thing, everybody's kind of on it, to 3 million users. When did you know that you had something?
I still don't know if we have something.
You still don't know?
I think that we have a significant number of college students. I think that there's around 15 million total college students in the U.S., and 8 of those are at 4-year universities. So we're at about half of those colleges now. I think that there's somewhere around 1,500 4-year colleges. So, if we can replicate the growth from the first 800 to the second, or like the second half almost, then I mean, we're looking at maybe having like 5 to 6 million out of the 8 million college students. So it's just like a large number. And I mean, that's pretty cool to have that many college students doing this stuff, you know, and it's really rewarding to like go around and see how people are actually using it. So like we'll go to parties on campus, and like if we end up in someone's room, like there's a Facebook window open, and that's pretty cool, you know. I mean, we're like, one of my roommates was traveling around Europe a couple of weeks ago, and he went to internet cafes in like London and Ireland and Italy, and like when he went to Facebook just to check out whether it was still working the way it was supposed to, he'd go to like the login page, and it would have like someone else's login there saved from like the last time someone had been on it. And I think like in London, he was like 2 of the people in the internet cafe were on the Facebook at the time. So I think that's pretty cool, and like people use it, and that's pretty exciting. I mean, like whether we have something that will last for a really long time, or is just like kind of a cool toy for people to play with now, we'll see. But I mean, I think it's actually useful and not necessarily just a fad. So
yeah, no, I mean, we definitely, just making this movie, we've used it. You know, like when we got to San Francisco, like, well, who's in San Francisco? We checked geography. I'm like, oh, our friend Gavin. You know, we haven't seen him in 4 years. Let's go see what he's up to. And I mean, I've hung out with people from like elementary school who, like, you know, I've moved around a whole bunch, but I've hooked back up with elementary school friends from it. So, I mean, the other thing we were talking, like, it sort of inspires like people to actually meet out in public.
Yeah. Like,
it's not just an online community. Have you noticed stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the goal that we went into it with wasn't to make an online community, but sort of like a mirror for the real community that existed in real life. So, like, the Facebook for your school isn't somewhere where people actually go to meet, but like where you go to see like who knows each other, you know, and maybe like sort of a groundbreaker or like icebreaker, you know, so that way you can find out something about people and see who you want to meet, or maybe like if you can like message them, and that's just like a really informal way to like start a dialogue. So I think that like face-to-face communication between people is a lot of times really intimidating. So I think that like kind of more lax forms of communication like AIM or like even email, you know, is just like something that's more accessible to a lot of people, and I think Facebook adds something to that mix. So like if you don't feel like calling someone, or you don't like feel comfortable meeting them for coffee, then like you can maybe just like poke them, and that's just not that big of a deal, you know. So I think that's kind of cool.
How many pokes are there a day on Facebook?
I don't know, we don't track that. I did at one point. There were a lot. I think that there have been like over 1 million at Harvard alone since the site started. So, yeah.
And I mean, with something like a poke, like people complain, like, what is this? Like, they don't even know what it's for. Like, I mean, do you get that complaint a lot? I mean, I notice it's on the FAQs, but
I think people want to know like the meaning, but I mean, the meaning isn't really that special. It's just like it's a social application, you know, and it's what people make of it. I mean, the same thing as the wall. It's like a space where you can write random things. Like, it's not so much what the wall was meant to be used for as what people are using it for that defines its meaning and its social value.
If you want to see Jeff Bezos' first interview from 1997, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I'm Jeff Bezos.
And what is your claim to fame?
I'm the founder of Amazon.com.
Where did you get an idea for Amazon?